Hello everyone, I'm Batpan, the bat who uses pan as a shield. Today, we're diving into part 2 of our Unity node system tutorial series. In this video, we'll be adding the next page and previous page functions to our node system, making it even more beautiful. You can find all the files used and created in this video on my GitHub repository, linked in the description below. This tutorial is part of my ongoing series on Unity tips and tricks, designed to help you boost your game development skills. And by the way, I've published my retro horror game. I'd be very happy if you could check it out and share your thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, a like would be amazing. You can subscribe to see more contents like this. You can tell me any opinions, any comments, any suggestions you have in the comment section. I would be glad to answer them. With all those being said, let's begin. First thing first, let's show what we'll be creating by the end of this video. So this is going to be added. This is page number 1. When I click on this, it goes to page number 2 with a random audio. As you see, the audio plays randomly. Here we have previous page, and when it's 1, you click on this, it goes to page 3 again. We'll be creating this one in this video, and we can also take the note that we created in the previous part. You can get to the previous part by clicking on top of your screen right now over the link in the description. I'll delete everything and continue where we left off from the previous video. For the first section of the video, we'll be creating the next page and last page buttons. So I'll activate my note 1 that we created, the UI. We go to scene, click on this 2D to go to the 2D view, and we have a button here. It's called take the note. We can just duplicate this button and change its stuff, but I'm gonna create another button. So I'm gonna right click on this note, UI, legacy button. To get to this tab, you have to press T. To get to this tab, it's called the rect tool. You can increase and decrease it. To increase it on both sides, you have to hold Alt. So I'm just gonna put it, if it doesn't move, just press Z and it will move. I'm just gonna put it I'm gonna make it smaller, like this. Go to text, I'm gonna give it like this one, this arrow. I'm gonna put it like 50, make it bold. Select button again, make it smaller, like this amount is enough. I'm gonna put it like 285 this way, and I'm gonna duplicate it. I'm gonna call this one next page. I'm gonna duplicate by holding Control and pressing D or right click and duplicate. I'm gonna call this one previous page, and I'm gonna move it minus 285. I'm gonna select this text. I'm gonna give it the other way arrow. It's actually this easy to create the buttons. Let's go ahead and create the function for it. As I said in the intro, the script and everything used in this video will be in my GitHub. The link to my GitHub is in the description. So open up our script. This is where we left off in the previous part. So we're gonna continue from here. We're gonna add some parts right down here. I'm gonna say added part 2, so you guys know this part has been added to part 2. The first thing you saw was the random audio playing. I had 2 audios that would play randomly. This one and this one. So these 2 would play randomly. To play them randomly, we need a reference to them. I'm gonna put these 2 inside an array. Array is actually something that we can put multiple objects of the same type inside one, single game object. You'll see in the upcoming minutes. So public audio clip. To make it an array, you have to put this one right after the audio clip, so it is an array. I'm just gonna call it next page sounds. You can name it whatever you want. I'm gonna name it this, and I'm gonna add a section for page texts. The first thing we need is an integer for the page number, so we know which page we're on. So I'm just gonna say page number. I'm gonna make it equal to 1 by default, so we're on page 1 by default. Then we need a string. I'm gonna call it parent string. It is actually the thing we want to write. For example, for page 1, we want to write something. Actually write something in page 1. We have to make parent string equal to, for example, page 1 string. You'll understand it in upcoming minutes, of course, but I'm gonna explain it prior to the video. We need a string. I'm gonna create like 3 pages, as you saw in the beginning. I need page 1 string, string page 2 string, and string page 3 string. So each page has different strings. It holds the sentences and the thing we want to write for each page. For example, page 1 wants to have this one, and page 2, for example, wants to have another one. We have to give them 3 different values, and when we change the pages, we just make this parent string equal to the, for example, page number 1 string. Let's go down here to the void start, where we give our, for example, the things we want to write in the beginning. So I'm just gonna say give pages values. Right here, we say, for example, page 1 string equal to the thing we want to write. So what do we want to write in the first page? For example, I want to say this is the first page. So this is for page 1 string. Page 2 string is going to be for page 3. We're going to do the same thing for page 3. So these are the values, these are the sentences we give from inside the code. We can actually give them from outside the code. We just have to make this string a serialized field, but I'm actually giving it from the inside the code. That's it for the void start. Let's go ahead inside void update. One thing I want to add, where I should first explain what I want to do for next page. When we go to next page or the previous page, of course we have to create two different public voids, so we can actually click on this button and reference it to this public void as we did in the previous part. But here in all of them we're actually calling this function, interact equal to false, interaction text equal to empty, everything we're actually calling this thing like 3 or 4 times. So instead of calling it 3 to 4 times, this whole stuff 3 or 4 times, we can actually put all of this inside a void and we can actually just call that void. It's actually very easier and it is actually more readable. So I'm gonna actually be doing that. So up here I'm just gonna say void show text, cut all of these values, select all of them. You can cut by Control X or right click and go cut, and we're gonna paste it here with Control V or right click and paste. And instead of just writing all of this again and again, we just up here we just say show text, and that's it. That's as easy as it gets. And I did it because we want to call this function 3 or 4 times in this code, so we don't have to write all of them again and again. It is actually very easier this way. And the only thing we got to change up here is, as I said, the first page we want to see is actually page number 1, so we have to make our parent string equal to the page 1 string. So our first page is going to be showing us this text. You'll actually see it, so we're just going to say parent string equal to page 1 string. The only thing you have to change in this show text void is, instead of writing no text.text this, we just delete this, just say parent string. So anything on the parent string will be written on our text here. Everything on our parent string will be written here. So that was for show text and what we had to do. So now let's go ahead and create the going to the next page or the previous page function. As I said, we have 2 buttons for the next page and the previous page, so we need 2 public voids we can reference to. So first I'm going to create public void next page, and I'm gonna create another public void previous page. That's exactly it. So let's go ahead and create the next page first, then we can copy the values and paste it inside the previous page and change some values, and because of that it's not actually that hard. First thing first, you saw that we create a random audio, so I'm gonna create the random audio first. Audio. So this here, I'm gonna play the random audio. As I was testing it out, introduced a bug where you click multiple times on the, next page, it would repeat the same audio again and again and again. It would be like kind of weird. So to stop that bug from happening, we have to say source.stop. Source is actually the audio source we created in the previous video. We stop it first, then we play the audio again. So to play the audio randomly, we have to give it a random number for the index of our array, and then play it. So to give it a random number, we have to create a random number first. So we say int random num equal to random dot range, start from 0 and end with next pages sounds dot lengths. So it's gonna be 0 and 1 because it is 2 and it starts with 0 and it ends with 1. So it's either gonna choose 0 or 1. Then we're gonna play that. So to play that, we're just gonna say source dot play one shot. Then we're gonna play next pages sounds house number random num. It is either gonna play the next pages sound house number 0 or house number 1, and that's how you play it random. So I'm just gonna put it down. Then we're gonna go ahead and do the actual function of going to the next page. We have 3 pages, so we're just gonna say if page number is equal to 1, else if page number is 2, else if page number is 3. So when we go to the next page, we know if we're on page 1, we go to the next page, it is page number 2. When we're on page 2, we go to the next page, we know the next page is actually number 3. And when we're on page number 3 and we go to the next page, is actually page number 1. So we go back to the beginning. Page 1 goes to 2, 2 goes to 3, and 3 goes to 1. And that's how to change the integer for it. To actually change the text on the UI we created, we're just gonna say parent string equal to page 2 string. As I said before, parent string is the text we're gonna show, and it is going to be equal to the text from the page number 2. And we're going to kind of do the same thing for this one. Parent string equal to page 3 string, and for here parent string equal to page 1 string. After we change the text, we want to show the text. So we created a void before, as I said. We want to just call this one here to change the text. So to actually call it, we just say show text. As easy as that. We can just copy it and paste it here and here. This is exactly how to do it. But before going ahead and checking it out, I'm just gonna do the same thing for the previous page as well. We can just copy the random audio, Control C and Control V here for the previous page, and we can just copy this one here and change some things. For the previous page, When we're on page number 1 and we click on the previous page, we go to page number 3. So we change this to 3 and page 3 string. And when we're 2, we go to 1. We are on 3, we go to 2 and 2. As easy as that. That's how we create it. We can go ahead and check it out. But before checking it out, we're gonna go ahead and select our next page button as we did in the previous video. We go down here and we look for on click event. We click on this plus. We drag and drop the object with the code, which is my camera. So I drag and drop my camera here. You can click on the circle to find your camera. Click on this no function, go to your node system, your script's name, and I'm gonna give it the next page function, the public void next page. This one. So we can reference this one to the button, and we're gonna kind of do the same thing for the previous button as well. Drag and drop here, node system, previous page. We actually created a new array. As you see, this is the next pages sounds array. It's gonna have 2 values, so I'm just gonna change 0 to 2, and in these 2 values I give it page number 1 and I give it page number 2. So now that it's been given, we can go ahead and check it out. So right now we go ahead, it says press E to take the note. I took the note. This is the first page. I hope you guys are enjoying this video. Page 1, when I click this, it goes to the next page. If you enjoyed the video, a like and sub would be fantastic. Page number 2, and I click this. As you see, a random audio plays, and so you can tell me any opinions or anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Page 3. When I click on it again, it goes to the first page. Page number 1, 3. And we can click on this one. It goes back randomly. 2, 1, goes back. And when I click take the note, it takes the note and it plays the Silent Hill 2 sound effect. So this was part 2 of creating a node system in Unity. In the next part, we'll cover reading the text, creating a new panel, and writing the text on the panel. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, a like would be amazing. You can subscribe to see more contents like this. You can tell me any opinions, any comments, any suggestions, anything. I would be glad to answer them. Hope all the best for you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.